Tony, take a seat. Thank you. All right. So here's where we were at. We were talking about population. You may remember the population of the world right now?
Like 7.7 billion.
Yeah, 7.7 billion people. What about the United States? How many we got in the United States?
330 million.
330 million. You're smart. Let's see. If I'm a dude living in the United States, what's my average lifespan? 70 something.
Because every state sucks. There's always shootings. There's stupid protesters. Blocking traffic.
Preach it, brother. Preach it. All right. 76. 76 are dudes.
You got
There's
it.
three columns. See that? There's a dude column, like a combined column, and then
Peaceful protest.
okay, listen. Come back. All right, so we got 76 for dudes. We get 71 for females. Okay, and then we started looking at some of the. We do not have the top. We're not like number one, right? We're not number one when it comes to life expectancy. China, Hong Kong, China, Macau, and Japan are at 88, 87, and 87. And if you looked at more of those, a lot of the European nations are at like 86, 85, 84. Okay, guys? Thank you. All right. Okay, who knows what's going to happen with that later. Okay, now, okay, I think we got to the lowest. So if you're going to have the lowest life expectancy, we were looking at males, and that was with places in Africa. So we had Central African Republic, Lesotho, and then Nigeria with 51, 51, and 54. Okay, I do not believe that we started the back, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so we're going to find the three countries with the highest infant mortality rates and the country with the three lowest. Okay, and I think you're going to start to see some similarities. Why is infant mortality an important measure for population?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Okay, great question. So if I have a high infant mortality, that means there's a percentage of children out of 1,000 that are dead. Now here's the big question. I want you to really think hard about this. If you have a high infant mortality rate, is your country's population high or low? Instantly, I think my gut at first says, okay, if all these babies are dying, then I must have a low population, right? But it's not that way at all. Okay, if you have a high infant mortality rate, your population is usually higher and you have more births per woman. That's because you're replacing the dead ones. Okay, so if you are a family of like who lives in Nigeria, your average is like 7.1, right around there, or Niger, sorry, but you have a high infant mortality rate. So you're actually giving birth to more children, but not all of them are living. Okay, which is pretty crazy to think about. So if you look at this, so we're going to look, of course, we'll start with Africa here. Okay, and let's look at where it says infant mortality rate. So if you're on my sheet, I'm on, what just happened here? Yes, so you got it there. Central African Republic is the highest. Okay, and let me do this again. So if I go over here to Central African Republic, I'm on page 7 of the PDF. And right here, I've got Central African Republic, and my infant mortality rate is 80. That's 80 children per 1,000. Okay, that's how we rate that. And that seems pretty crazy. Okay, so Central African Republic is number 1. And then if we look just very close to that on this, I think it's on the next page. I'll go down here. Is Sierra Leone. So Sierra Leone, where can I'm gonna get this going here.
What is, what do we have?
Yeah, I'll show you in just a second. So Sierra Leone, they have 75. So if you want to see how to spell that, Sierra Leone right there, they have 75. Now, there's a bunch of people that found when they were doing this, when I was gone on Tuesday, they were looking at the next one. There are a bunch of 70. Oh, Sierra Leone is at 75. Sierra Leone is at 75. So we have Central African Republic at 80, Sierra Leone at 75. And then I don't know if anybody found the next one. Chad is 72. There's a bunch of 72s. First period, I actually did get a note from the sub, and he said that students in your first period class were very excited to find out that there was a country called Chad. I guess a lot of people did not know that. Now, I hate that country because I hate Chad Fitzpatrick. So there you go. Just kidding. Okay, but there you go. All right. So those are the highest infant mortality rates. Okay. And so number one, Central African Republic at 80, Sierra Leone at 75, and Chad at 72. Well, we're going to get out of Africa and let's look at the United States. Okay. If we look at the United States, you might be like, okay, we've got to have a really low infant mortality rate. Ours is at 5.7. So here's the United States right here at 5.7. And when you see that, you're like, oh man, that's got to be, one of the best, right? It is definitely not the best. Okay, so let's go down to some European countries and maybe even some Asian countries and see where we're at. Okay. Southeast Asia, here's some pretty big ones at like in the 30s. Here's Maltese is at 7, 52. So some of these Asian countries still a pretty high infant mortality rate. Okay, let's go to Europe. Let's see if I can get, here's Estonia at 1.8, Iceland at 1.7, Sweden at 1.8. Let's keep, that's my infant mortality rate. Let's see if I can get anything lower than 1.7 here. There's another 1.7 Montenegro. Let's keep going down. Just curious if I can find another 1.7. It looks like that might be it. Anybody get lower than 1.7 when they were finding this? I think we're pretty good on that, right? Anybody lower than 1.7? Okay, so I'm going to go up and say that our first one then 1.7, and then we had a 1.8 is 1.7 was Iceland. Okay, so I'm going to go with Iceland number one. Number two was Montenegro with another 1.7. So Iceland 1.7, and then Montenegro 1.7. Let me make sure I'm spelling Montenegro right because I don't want to mess that up. Okay, I think Montenegro. Yeah, let's look up China, Hong Kong. Like, what do they have? Maybe I didn't check that good enough. Yeah, you got it? Yeah. Let me look up China, Hong Kong real quick. They're at one. Oh, crap. They got 1.5. Okay. 1.5. I messed it up. So they've got 1.5. China, Hong Kong's got 1.5. So I'll just put that above Iceland and Montenegro at 1.7. I should have checked China, Hong Kong, and also China, Macau is still high at 2, and Japan is 1.9. Okay, so you could I messed that up, so I'm just going to draw a little arrow to the top and say China, Hong Kong. Kong is 1.5. And then Montenegro, I could show you how to spell that in a second. Iceland was at 1.7. And then, Montenegro was also here, 1.7. Okay, I should have checked that China, Hong Kong first. So again, not even close to being the top of our game there for those things. So let's go back. I just want to go back to Niger for a second, because Niger is an interesting place for me, and it has changed a bit over the years. So once again, their population is at 24 million people, okay, and it's continued to grow. And what's really interesting is when you look at Niger here, and I'm on page 5 if you want to look at that. They have 48 births per 1,000. They have 10 deaths per 1,000. Their natural increase is 3.8%, which is just crazy. Okay, but what's also really interesting is that their total fertility rate, okay, so that means how many babies, okay, on average, if I live in Niger, okay, if I'm a woman right now in Niger, okay, then I will have 7.1 babies. Okay, right? That's every woman on average. Yeah, right. Yeah, you only get the toe. Okay, of course, why do you get that? That's averages with the population, but that's insane, right? That's pretty crazy. So remember, Niger was right up there with 51% are 14, and under, under 15 years old, which is also just completely insane. And if we go back to look at their life expectancy, their life expectancy is 58 for a man and 60 if you're a woman in Niger. Okay, and so I want to also mention this. If I live in Niger, okay, remember it's one of the fastest growing nations. You on average make $870 a year if you live in Niger. But let's look at Central African Republic. So that's the lowest life expectancy. Okay, if I'm living in Central African Republic, I would make on average as a person living there, let me go to this here, $1,030. Okay, if you look at some of these African countries, we're talking, by the way, per year. Okay, so I know some teenagers that are making $800 every couple months, or maybe even if you've got a really good job. I have some seniors that say, yeah, I could easily pull in probably, $800 a month, and that's yearly for these people. So what does this mean for people, and why do we even care about this stuff? I want you to open Google Classroom, and I'm going to send something out to you, and we're going to look at some changes. And I love this thing. It's, for some reason, I think it's like one of the coolest things ever. All right. Hold on a quick second. Where's my classroom? Okay. You are 5th period. Okay. And everyone's going to have kind of a different thing here. And you'll see why in just a second. So for Thursday, you'll have to refresh. Sorry, I had not posted this. All right, you're gonna open up this thing right here, okay? And I like this. Okay, everybody, open up this on Google Classroom, and then I'm gonna give each one of you a different country here. Okay. I don't know. I don't drink pop. This is real weird. I'm not a sweets person. I like the salty, but I don't like the sweets. Like, kids are always making fun of me because they're like, Jamie, Dad, you never eat any sweets. I know, it's weird. All right. So this is right now, this is it. They have this set for 2019. This is what's called a population pyramid. Okay. And if you notice, there's the blue side and the red side. The blue side is the males. The red side is the females. Okay. And if you look at this, we've got more of kind of what looks like kind of like a skyscraper, right? Okay, maybe the top, kind of even on the side, and then it tapers off. This is saying that for the most part in the world, we're growing a little bit, but maybe not as exponential as you would think. I'm going to look at the United States. And what's great about this is you just click on the letter. Okay, there's you, and I go to the United States, and this looks a little bit different. Okay, notice what happened when I clicked on the United States. The kids shrunk. There's a little bit less kids on the bottom than the world, right? And why are kids important? Because kids are the ones that are going to be having the babies. That's why we did this whole thing. Yeah, right. That's, well, eventually, hopefully not now. Okay, but we talked about the fact that if you lived in Niger and you're a woman, you wouldn't be in school, you'd be having a baby. Okay, that's why we look at that less than 15. If I were a bet man, this would be a really good, easy bet to have. Here it is. Okay, who's going to be more likely to have a child in the next year? Somebody at Manchester Junior Senior High School or a female at Peabody or Timbercrest? That's a 100% bet there, because if you are a resident at Peabody or Timbercrest, you're most likely not able to have kids anymore because you've passed the age to be able to have children. Are you all with me on this? Okay, so now there's the United States. Let's take a look at, like, click on the N. We'll click on the N and we'll find Niger. And now look what happens. Woo-whoa, wee-whoa. We've gone from like a small amount of kids, whoa, wee-whoa, yeah, okay, to like exponential growth here. There's almost no old people. There's almost no like middle of the ground people. This population is all young, right? This yeah, they die, but then they just make more. It's crazy. Okay, now here's what I want you to see. Okay, everybody look at my screen for a second. Okay, here's what's nuts about this. Okay, so what's the future look like for Niger? Okay, we're gonna get on the time machine. We're gonna get Bill Ted's time machine. We're getting the oh man, I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it so bad. We'll get in there, a little phone booth. We'll get in the Doctor Who's these things, or we'll get in the DeLorean. We'll get in the hot tub time machine. You guys ever heard of that movie? Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, I'm working on that, but it's so wild. You're gonna get your lettuce hopefully tomorrow. Lettuce. Okay, but everybody look at my screen. Watch this. Here's my hot tub time machine. I'm gonna go now to 2024, 29, 24. Okay, and look what's happening to that pyramid as I continue to go, okay, past. It starts to look a heck of a lot more even, right? Okay, is this some sort of sorcery? Is this some sort of craziness? All right, I'm gonna give each one of you a letter, okay? And you are going to choose, I don't care what country, but choose one. You're letter A, you're letter B, you're letter C, you're letter D, you're letter E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, okay? I can't remember. Which one did you get? Okay, cool. All right. Yes. All right. Now here's what I'm going to try, because it's been a while. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Just pick one under your letter.
Can I do
okay, here we go.
Non-specified areas?
What's that?
Oceania, Maine. Can I do other non-specified areas?
Yeah, sure. You do whatever you want in that. Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
Okay, now I'm going to put your computer screen up on my screen, so beware. Yo. You choose whatever you want, man. You click the letter C and then you do it. Okay, now just choose that country. Here we go. I'm gonna.
Because it's mostly men. Look at that.
Okay, so,
Nasty. Too much men. Too much men for my liking.
okay, so I'm gonna start this up and I'm gonna put everyone's screen up on my board. And so Sam, if you could get off your game right now, that'd be great. Okay, I'd like for you to, yeah, everybody to be on this. Tony, you as well too, that'd be great.